Hey kids, how are we today? Oh my God, it is good to see you, each and every one of you. I love you. It is a good day. It's Tuesday, and I'm glad that you're here. And we got some great stuff today. Nathan Boyles from Sanitation. He's the owner. He's going to be joining us this morning. Looking forward to that. That's going to be, they got a special announcement, so tell your friends. Coming up in about 15 minutes. So please let your friends know, right? Don't want to miss this. Call the commissioners. Nothing like goading them, right? I'm glad that you're here. Yeah. So, it's going to be good. My name is Nick Stewart. This is Sunrise and Rosa. You know who you are. I hope. Unless you're Joe Biden. Then it's written on the inside of your underwear. I feel good. I'm feeling mighty bueno today. Welcome to the program, and God bless you. The telephone number to call is 850-771-0049. Your forecast today, variable clouds, scattered showers, and thunderstorms, mainly during the afternoon hours, and a high near 88. Chance of rain today, 50% tonight. Mostly cloudy skies, early scattered thunderstorms developing later on, low near 73. The chance of rain tonight, 60%. Then tomorrow for your Wednesday, as we have Invest 91L, whatever it is. Thunderstorms, potential for heavy rainfall, high near 82. The chance of rain tomorrow, 70%. It doesn't say how much. It usually says, like an inch and a half or whatever. It doesn't say anything like that. Hello, Jeff Snow. By the way, tonight, give me your temperatures. It's 74 in Milton. It's 80 in Gulf Breeze, 75 in Navarre, and 75 in Pensacola. Hi. Jeff Snow and the crew have the Milton City Council has a meeting tonight. Starts at 5:30. Is that right, Jeff? Or 4:30? Correct me where I'm wrong. I think it's 5:30. Make sure you go to that. Good morning. My mouse died. Oh, there it is. Hi, Stephanie. Roger. How are you? Executive meeting tonight at 5:30 from Jeff Snow. So there you go. We'll check that out. And should be good. All right. So this came up. I want to thank our sponsor, Gulf Coast Gun. I appreciate them so much. Go to gulfcoastgun.com. Look at these shirts. Are these not beautiful? That is a nice shirt. That South Florida pink. I love that. That flamingo. Good looking stuff. All right. Hey. Scott, how are you? Leonard Scott Long. One of my college buddies. Good to see you. Hi, Denise. All right, let's get on this. I saw this come up, and I found this fascinating. Be careful what you promise and what you do in a wager. Check this out.
Get out of the way! Out of the way!
We are at the corner of Woodbine and Schmuckle Highway right now.
Woodbine and Schmuckle. That's a man in the dress and a wig.
I suck at fantasy football.
The sign says I suck at fantasy football. Oh, my friends. Have to stand on a corner in a dress and a wig and hold a sign that says, I suck at fantasy football. It doesn't get any better than that, my friends. Oh, that is good stuff. It's good stuff. Someone lost a bet. They did. And it's hilarious. That kind of stuff. And you know what? Kudos to the individual that is stand out there in a dress for making good on his wage. I think that's awesome. I think that's awesome. It made me laugh very early this morning. All right. Pensacola Beach business owners say this summer surpasses expectations with pre-pandemic numbers. A report from Visit Florida finds tourism in Florida is rebounding. Nearly 32 million people visited the state from April through June, which is only 2% below the same quarter in 2019 and more than 200% higher than in 2020 when everything was locked down, which is kind of obvious. Escambia County's unemployment rate declined by half a percentage point from June to July to 5.1%, and the industry gaining most jobs over the last year was leisure and hospitality. Businesses say they're still finding it difficult to hire all the employees they need. However, they're getting some help because the unemployment monies are being cut off. They lost their unemployment benefits on Monday. Millions of Americans did, having only a handful of economic support programs for those who are still being hit financially by the year-and-a-half-old coronavirus pandemic. Now, I don't know who's being hit financially by this. There are help-wanted signs everywhere. Everywhere. Two critical programs expired on Monday. One provided jobless aid to self-employed and gig workers. Another provided benefits to those who've been unemployed more than 6 months. Further, the Biden administration's $300 weekly supplemental unemployment benefit also ran out yesterday. Roughly 8.9 million Americans will lose all or some of these benefits. Now, here's the deal. The minimum wage has been voted to go up. However, most businesses have already surpassed that because they're trying to get good help. So it's not really an issue. It's not really an issue. Is it? I don't think so. You could get a job. It says most business owners generally oppose the idea of raising minimum wage, but most of them find themselves paying well over $10 an hourly wage, taking effect in September. In fact, many are already offering $15 or more to anyone willing to work. Like everything else, it's supply and demand, said Shane Moody, president and CEO of Destin Chamber of Commerce. Right now in this area, you can get a job working just about any place you want for more than you've been able to make for the same job in the past. The money is there. The jobs are there. The government teat is drying up. Go get your job. Go get a job. I'm gonna listen. You've got to get off your back quarters, right? Your hindquarters, and get out there and get moving. I'm just over all this. So don't pay any attention to those naysayers who say, "Oh, I can't get a job." There's jobs out there, lots of them, everywhere you go. If you're breathing, yes. If you have a pulse, you could get a job, and you could tell that in some places because they're hiring warm bodies. Yep, that's it. That is correct. And I don't know. I don't understand why. Well, I do, but government makes it easy to sit at home. Why do these? Question is, why do we still have people sitting on street corners holding signs saying need work? Because people are willing to give to them. People are willing to give to them. Stop giving to them. Now, Lynn has broken the cardinal rule. She has used a pronoun. Don't do that. They're everywhere. Is it the help wanted signs, the homeless, both? I don't know. You need to be more specific, please, Lynn. 850-771-0049. Oh, this is interesting. Florida reported far fewer coronavirus cases in the week ending Sunday, adding 129,202 new cases. That's down 14.9% from the previous week tally of 151,760 new cases of the virus that causes COVID. Florida ranks 7th among the states where coronavirus are spreading the fastest on a per-person basis. USA Today network analysis of Johns Hopkins University data study shows. And latest week, coronavirus cases in the U.S. increased 5.2% from the week before, with 6.45 of the country's population. Florida had 11.27 of the country's cases in the last week. Across the country, 44 states had more cases last week than they did in the week before. But we've gone down. Escambia County reported 2,523 cases last week. A week before, it had reported 3,064 cases. Santa Rosa County reported 2,064 cases in the latest week. Before that, it had reported 2,100 cases. So it's going down. It's going down. Timeout is a real thing if you use pronouns. What? Well, you know what? Then don't give to him. Don't if they're begging, and I mean, there's a guy in Pensacola at the intersection of Davis and Brent who cuts grass with a pair of scissors. God, he's cutting the grass there with a pair of scissors. I don't think he's probably very capable. But look, it looks can be deceiving. There's some mental health problems, but there's people who are just not. But the COVID cases are going down. But you've got, listen, hey, don't lose hope. You've got Mu coming up. Fake news, false positives. They won't give the number of vaccinated that were infected. You're correct. We talked about that yesterday, that if you are within the 2-week window of after you're getting second shot, you're still counted as unvaccinated in the hospital. So there you go. It's true. It is a true thing. Unofficial Milton Post. I trust the media. Good for you. The guy cutting grass with scissors gets paid by the hour. I bet you he makes more. I would dare say he makes way, way more than that. The guy at Publix gets under the table jobs every so often doing manual labor. Isn't manual labor the president of Mexico? I always get confused. Many jobs available, just wondering why he can't find one. I don't know. But giving to them only helps perpetuate the thing, right? Drug cases, things like that. Just keep that in mind. One more thing before we got Adam Sanitation coming up here in just a moment. I've got him on here. We're ready to go. But I just want to tell you this, that some people are so upset over climate change that they're suffering from mental health concerns considered, get this, climate despair. Climate despair. The devastating and deadly Hurricane Ida has energized activists, including the Post, which publicized a lengthy piece that claims more people than ever could experience serious challenges to their mental health as a result of climate change. A nonprofit organization called Good Grief Network, a 10-step program inspired by the structure of Alcoholics Anonymous, whose meetings provide social and emotional support to people who feel overwhelmed about the state of the world. Says it's reached over 1,000 people in 4 years. Yeah. Young adults are among the group most vulnerable to feelings of depression and anxiety related to climate change. A climate psychology educator and consultant who's a member of the Directory of Climate Aware Therapists. Yeah, they're snowflakes, hence the snow. The woke police, I know they're after me. It's not paranoia if they're really after you. All right. Enough of the nonsense. Good morning. All right. With us this morning. Whoops. Oh, here we go. There we are. We have Nathan Boyles, and Nathan is the owner of Adams Sanitation. Good morning, sir. How are you today?
Good morning, Nick. I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. All right. So if I could get you a little closer to the microphone, get a little bit of distortion there. There you go. Try that. Awesome.
Let's try that.
That sounds better. So we're glad to have you on this morning. I know you've got a couple things that you want to talk about. So I'm going to let you go ahead.
Well, no, I appreciate it, Nick. Thanks for the opportunity. Good to be up early with you guys. As you know, we certainly fought the battle about a year ago for the opportunity to have the right, the privilege to do business in North Santa Rosa County. We were successful. The Santa Rosa County Commission ultimately saw fit to issue us a permit, and we've been engaged over the last couple of months in the effort of seeking that opportunity in South Santa Rosa County. And, really, we came after this after the issues arose within the solid waste department, where it was pretty clear that the contract that was in place, the contract that we think was, improper to begin with Waste Pro, became very clear was not being enforced by the county. Their own reports effectively said that. And so we've gone after that opportunity, and it continues to be, unfortunately, a fight with the county. We thought it would be a little bit of an easier process. But even as recent as this week, we had a hearing scheduled this Thursday in front of the commission that the county itself had set for us to have our opportunity to present our case to the county. And the county unilaterally canceled that hearing a few days ago.
Okay. So what seems to be the issue with that? Now, I know that the interim county attorney has said that there's problems trying to get some stuff straightened up. So what do you feel is the ultimate issue that the hearing was canceled?
So, specifically with the hearing, honestly, I think it was just a new lawyer. This would be the third lawyer in a line of lawyers since we've been doing business in Santa Rosa County. And quite frankly, and I think unfortunately, he's a Tallahassee lawyer. I just don't think he took the time to actually read the county's code of ordinances. And I don't think he understood that, Santa Rosa is a great county. We're proud to be over there, but it has its own kind of nuance and special way of doing things. And not everything is exactly in the order one might expect. And the code of ordinances in Santa Rosa County is no different. It's unfortunately not exactly in order. And so rather than do his homework and actually go back to the original ordinances, he relied on the codified code of ordinances, which is just frankly incorrect. There's an ordinance in 1989 that's crystal clear that provides a right of appeal for any business that gets denied a trash hauling permit in the county. And that's understandable. I think, in most systems, American systems provide a right of appeal from unelected bureaucrat decisions to ultimately an elected decision maker. And so we're simply asking them to follow the law. Unfortunately, I think their Tallahassee lawyer just got a little bit confused about what the law actually is in Santa Rosa County.
Okay. All right. So what do you see? This has been a long drawn out ordeal for you guys, right? This has been, it's business. It's competition is always good. But there seems to be a hesitancy on behalf of the BOCC to encourage business. How much longer do you think this is going to drag out? I personally believe that you'll ultimately prevail, but how long do you think this thing's going to drag out?
Well, on the legal front, who knows? We'll fight as long as we have to fight, as long as we've got the capability to fight. We intend simply to conduct business, and we've notified the county as much. October 1st, we intend to start our service option down in South Santa Rosa County, and we'll let the county kind of catch up from there. It's the same thing we told them last year, that we were going to start service in January 1. They could either give us a permit or not, but that under their ordinances, we believed that we were entitled. We had the right to have that permit. And in fact, their ordinance says shall issue. If you meet the requirements of the ordinance, it's not optional. The bureaucrats will get to pick whether they like you, whether they like the color of your shirt or not. They have to issue the permit. And so we're simply going to start business, and we'll ultimately let them catch up, and we certainly hope that they will.
Okay. All right. So there was the petition. You've got a petition up on your website. How many signatures do you have now? How many people signed up?
Oh, a bunch. Over 2,000,
Nice.
2,300 actually. Yeah. And so each one of those is accompanied with an email to each of the 5 commissioners because we wanted them to know that there is substantial demand from their citizens. And if you look at the North County, I mean, we're seeing it. I mean, we continue to grow our market share, but more importantly, I think the citizens now have a choice. And I think service is better, frankly. I think you see fewer complaints coming out of North Santa Rosa County than you do out of South Santa Rosa County. And quite frankly, I think we've made Waste Pro better. And really,
Yeah,
that's what competition does, right? It makes
exactly.
everyone better.
Exactly. Yeah. So, all right. So now after the email went out to the county commissioners, one responded about the chain email, right? So you had a response from Bob Cole, and Bob Cole gave out some reasons for this. So let's talk through those. One of the reasons that he gave was traffic on the streets. So let's talk about that. So too many trucks on the streets, and so let's talk about that.
Well, look, I certainly appreciate it, and we can understand. We don't want to be, a bigger burden than anyone else to that public infrastructure, to communities. But it's interesting when you run the math. The county actually has its own traffic analysis that's in theory required if you're going to build a subdivision, and it'll tell you how many trips are generated by a particular house. And interestingly, the 2 trucks a week that would come through from a garbage service amount to a small percentage of the trip generation from a single household. And even if you multiply that by a factor for the accounts for larger trucks, it's really just it's an argument that I think that is created. I don't think it actually exists in fact. And I would say to that, even if, okay, so then are we going to go, is government now going to start regulating the number of concrete businesses, so we can reduce the number of concrete trucks or landscapers, to reduce the number of landscape trucks, and obviously that argument can be carried forward. Or we
Sure.
limit each house to 1 car, and so I just think it's not an argument that really fits within the system that we have here.
Right. Okay, so another argument that he gave was something about you're on the board of county commissioners, right? For in Okaloosa.
That's correct.
So what was his argument there?
Well, I think interestingly, Mr. Cole concludes that because there is a franchise system in a portion of Okaloosa County, therefore I should know that franchises are good. And, I'll grant Mr. Cole that franchises have their time and place. I have no problem with the underlying franchise. In fact, our company holds the franchise in the town of Jay. But the interesting distinction between what Okaloosa County did and even, the folks up in the small town of Jay, they competitively bid their franchise.
Right.
They went to their citizens. They tried to understand the level of service that their citizens want. And then they put on the market a competitive solicitation for that level of service. Interestingly, in both of those jurisdictions, it's twice weekly service. And the citizens were assured that they were getting the best price. How? Because there was a competitive bid process, and the company providing the best value was the one that was selected to do the job. And I think Mr. Cole merely misses that small fact about the fact that his franchise agreement with Waste Pro was not competitively bid.
So, and they just kind of, it really was, he said in a meeting, oh, well, we tried and nobody else, one other one put in a bid, but they withdrew it. Those things are not, that's simply not true.
Well, look, I mean, how do you prove a negative, right?
Right.
And I think that it fits conveniently into the narrative. Oh, we're pretty sure no one would want this multi-million, multi-year contract. And I think in my conversations with one of Waste Pro's, large national competitors, they said, sure, we absolutely, if it had been put on the street, we would have looked at the RFP, and we certainly would have been interested in the business. And so I think it was just a conclusion to support the overall narrative, and honestly, just not justifiable. And not justifiable under the county's own procurement policy. The county has a policy to tell itself how to do business in these instances when it's spending taxpayer money. And so in addition to, I think, just being, an after the fact effort, it was flat out in contravention of their own purchasing policy.
Wow. As you look at this, and as you, you're getting very little help from the BOCC, any of them. They're kind of falling in line, and it's going to drag out for a little while. We see this. We just kind of see. You're going to start service anyway, correct? In South Santa Rosa. When's that going to start?
The first week of October.
The first. Okay, that's coming pretty quick.
It's coming very quick.
Good. And so, what should people do? And listen, you're not forcing people to take Adams Sanitation. You're giving them a choice. So if they choose Adams Sanitation, what do they need to do?
Well, I'll answer that. I also want to add, I think that we agree that our service isn't for everyone, right?
Right.
There are plenty of folks whose the Waste Pro services is absolutely fine. And, we're not picking on Waste Pro as a company. Look, they've got a lot of good employees that work for them, some local folks, and their service model worked for some folks. If you're retired and don't produce a lot of trash, just you and the wife at the house, it may well actually suit you just fine. But what we know is for a lot of families out there, busy folks who may forget to put the trash out once a week, have 4 kids, a couple of them in diapers, it's pretty difficult to make do with that once weekly service. And so our whole point is we want you to simply have that choice. We want to be one of your options within the marketplace. And so if you live in the North End, obviously our service is available to you. Go to our website, adamsanitation.com, to sign up. If you live in the South End, go to our website. You can certainly sign up for service. Even if you're not interested in taking our service right now, you can use that link and send your commissioners an email and let them know that if nothing else, whether you take our service or not, you think that you should have the option to be able to choose who you do business with and where you spend your money.
Absolutely. What is it that you want, you'd want the folks in South Santa Rosa to understand, to get today?
They were used as a pawn, very honestly. So they had a contract in place with Waste Pro for twice weekly service, recycling included, for about $22 a month. When the county fumbled the North County ECUA pullout, claiming they did not have enough time to go out to bid, which in fact they did, the citizens of South Santa Rosa County became the pawn, and the county used that South County contract as the vessel to expand Waste Pro's coverage into North Santa Rosa County. Now that expansion obviously was ultimately unsuccessful. We won our permit, and so what the citizens in the South got is they got an early change to their contract. Their price went up and their service went down because the county needed a way to try and justify not putting that out to bid. And the best that the county could do at the time was to simply amend the scope of that South County franchise contract. And so at the end of the day, it was unsuccessful because Adams Sanitation fought it and earned the right to service in North Santa Rosa County. And what the citizens of the South County got was still the raw end of that deal, where they lost service and they ended up having to pay more.
Gotcha. So, so they're paying more for service for one time a week. It's $3 more, something like that, for $3 more a month for one time a week rather than 2. You're going to do 2 times a week, and the cost is what?
So our correct twice weekly service, which includes yard waste collection in bulk, is $29.50 per month.
Okay. All right. And that's, that for twice a week, that's what, 4 or 5 more times a month. That makes a big difference. If you are a family that has, that produces some. Look, we've got bears, we've got flies, we've got all kinds of issues. And that's beneficial. What else? Anything else?
Well, I'll just say, so we're a family of 4. I got 2 young kids. Honestly, I can make do without twice weekly trash service a lot of weeks. But what I find is that, listen, I own a trash company, and I frequently forget to put the trash out on trash day. And so, the problem with once weekly service is a lot of times we're busy. We got a lot going in our nice. And you know what? Every once in a while, I don't get the trash out of the road. If it's coming later in the week, it's all good. On once weekly service, I forget to put the trash out. I'm afraid I'd be sleeping outside. So.
Right. Nope. Yeah, you are correct. Well, we got some viewers. If you have a question for Nathan, you can call us 850-771-0049. Donna says, love the service I get from Adams. Thank you for serving East Milton. So there you go. And I know I've heard others as we've talked about this say how much they enjoy Adams Sanitation and the good job that they do. I'm so happy. Christina says that I switched over to Adams. Pickup is twice a week at my house. So there you go. Yeah, kudos from our viewers and our listeners, and we appreciate you. All right, sir. Well, great job, and thank you for joining us this morning. And I appreciate you using the video with us this morning, because a lot of people don't want to because it's too early in the morning and they don't have their game face on. So I appreciate you joining us this morning.
Enjoyed it.
Thank you, sir. Nathan Boyles from Adams Sanitation. Christopher Saul's running the camera. And good morning, Christopher. Good to see you this morning and have you on with us. All right. Thanks, guys. You have a blessed day.
Take care.
All right. Have a good day. All right. So there you go. That's Adams Sanitation. And good. Hey, that's a good thing. I'm glad that they're doing what they're doing. A lot of folks would give up. But they haven't, and they continue on. And look, you have a choice. You as a citizen should have a choice. And I have a problem with the BOCC being anti-business. And that's what it comes down to. And it's not just Adams Sanitation. It's the guys doing the brewery. It's a lot of it. Yeah. And Sharon says, thank you, Nathan, for fighting. Don't give up. And look, even if you are comfortable with Waste Pro, I think that you ought to support Adams in their fight. I think you ought to support them. It's always good to have competition. It always, like he said, it makes your competition better. And so Nathan is first class. Good guy. Most companies could not keep up with the legal fees to fight this. Yeah, I'm glad they're determined. And you need to press the BOCC. And yeah, Bob Cole said it was a chain email. But you need to let them know. Look, again, what is wrong with a little competition? I've seen other people like, oh, I like Waste Pro. Fine, that's good. I'm glad you like Waste Pro. Some people don't. I'm not a McDonald's fan. I would rather Whataburger or something else, anything other than McDonald's. Yeah, we need to change the BOCC for sure. They are not your friends. They are not for you. You've got to ask yourself, hear me. You got to ask yourself the obvious questions. The obvious question is, why? Why do they not want Adams in? Why? It has nothing to do with the contract. Nothing. Now you should, Natasha. You should feel slighted. Yeah, the BOC get campaign checks. I don't know. Is there money flowing from Waste Pro? Well, again, they didn't want to. They had an agreement where they would pay fines, and there's been for problems. Natasha knows that they did not do anything about it. They wiped them off. Where does that money go? It's all about the money. Take out the trash, referring to the BOCC. This is a severe problem in the county. Waste Pro charges $30 more for less service. Charge $30 more. What is the Waste Pro summary for those being charged in Tallahassee? I don't know. There was money flowing in Tallahassee. Yes. It is about the money. It's always about the money. And the BOCC, listen, I don't care if you've known Bob Cole for eons. I don't care if you've known Dave Peach for eons. Money changes people. You're getting a service. We want to keep Waste Pro happy because they're putting money somewhere. The money's going somewhere. Campaign funds? We don't know. It's under the table if it's anywhere. It's not going to be recorded. And there you go. Know what's going on. Again, even if you like Waste Pro, you don't. But even if you are comfortable with Waste Pro, you're not. But even if you are, what would be the problem with competition? On it, when they did a no-bid contract, we did, and nobody else wanted to. Really? Because nobody else is saying, hey, we didn't want to jump in there. These people are saying, we never saw the opportunity to bid. Chocolate party, I don't even know what that means. And I don't want to know. It's disturbing. But listen, Don Salter started all this mess. Well, yeah. But they don't have to continue it. It is the continuation of this stuff. Look, hear me. Any government is trying to stop our competition, is looking to become socialist. We all know that. Item number 1, replace the BOCC with solid people. I cannot say this any firmer than I've said it in the past. Please find people that have a soul to run. Find people that have a soul to run. Talk to your friends. Talk to your family. Get a group of like-minded people together and say, listen, we need to pick somebody from this group to run. Talk to people's friends, their close friends. Listen, I've got some close friends, people I like. But I would not do some people, I wouldn't recommend them for office. No. He'll probably take money. He'll probably fold. He's a wet rag. Or I think she would be fantastic. I think they would be a great, because they will tell you like it is, and they won't hold back. They're very measured. They're very thought-provoking. Here's what I like about Ron DeSantis, is he thinks about everything. When he says something, he's thought it out. Natasha says they all in SRC had an opportunity to resolve this before and escalated to this point. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But so we know, Natasha, that these guys have no soul and they will not do the right thing. So let's get them replaced. Find a patriot that won't take Ed Henry's money. Now, I will tell you that Ed Henry probably has the clout to destroy people. So you got to find somebody who has nothing to lose. Right? I don't know what this means, Chance. That's a one-word question. I don't even know what that means. Natasha should run. Steven says, let's have Natasha run. I don't think that's a problem at all. But we've got to find people with a soul. And stand up for what is right, no matter if you agree with them or not. But this stuff that is going on is not right. Look at the whole picture of what is going on. Sharon says, from what I'm hearing, Ed Henry will sue citizens if they become a threat. Probably. That's what I'm saying. The HBA is like Henry's own little cartel. Huge amount of power and money. But look at the whole of the BOCC, of their decisions. This Dan Schiebler thing, where they covered up for him lying to you and put it off as, well, the citizens are mad because he missed a deadline. No. Citizens are mad because he lied. The garbage thing, the private boat entrance, you all that stuff. There's tons of it. The borrow pit, oh my gosh, the list goes on. The noise ordinances, all these things are anti-you. And so they have become, the BOCC has become your nemesis. And we did that. The BOCC is not for you. It's not for Santa Rosa. The BOCC is for themselves. Is it a piggy bank? I don't know. Is it a power thing? I don't know. Ignoring the citizens who oppose something that's going to affect them. Is it? If we don't have good people run, if we don't have good people supported, then no. None of the BOCC did their job and looked into information that would lead to an educated decision on the borrow pit. None of them. And maybe that's true. But here's the thing. The whole thing. Now listen. You've got some that will make, even good people make poor decisions. Now, James Calkins a couple weeks ago said, I voted against something and I apologize. I was wrong. He said that on the dais. He says, if I could change my vote, I would. I can appreciate that. Do you ever hear Bob Cole say that? You ever Colton Wright say that? Nope. There's the issue. If they can't admit that they're wrong, then there's a problem. Why didn't Bob Cole say, you know what, this Waste Pro thing has been a mess? But no. I don't know, Sharon. But we do have problems. And it's time to weed out the garbage. It's time to weed out those that are an issue in the county. They are, who's they, Renee? I imagine the BOCC are elected to do that. Do the pronouns. Not to depend on a paid scientist or the public, but to find out for themselves. That's their job. Yeah. And they'll make mistakes. Everyone needs to call and email BOCC board to request third-party inspection of Sterling properties before the move. Possible toxic soil and dig paste water well. So, but listen, will they take your calls? Will they read your emails? I don't know. I'm trying to break the trend, Renee. The rule was no pronouns. I'm just saying. Justice says BOCC uses ghost candidates to block independents, libertarians, and others from the elections. That's why you find strong candidates. That's why you find strong candidates. And expose the ghost candidates. That's why you do the right thing. And you listen, you burn them. You burn them. And expose, not badmouth, but you expose this is who they are. And do what we need to do. We have problems. We've got big, big problems. Corruption in the BOCC. Dave Beach, corrupt. Dave Beach is corrupt. Colton Wright, corrupt. Bob Cole, we know he's corrupt. That mustache shows he's corrupt. That's a terrible mustache. Sam Parker, I don't know. He just sits back with his arms crossed and tells stories. What is that? You're correct, Macaria. They don't have time. They don't want. That's why they put you to the end of those meetings. That's why they put you off at the end of very long meetings. That's why they do what they do. We exposed the fake candidates, but still denied votes to 40% of the county. It doesn't hinder you from doing the right thing. And do due diligence. I said do. Do your due diligence. What is that? Is that a trash can? I don't know. The Volunteer Zoning Board did a better job than the BOCC. Yes. Yep. And they don't listen. You put these people like the zoning board in to help make decisions, and then you don't accept any of it. I don't get it. But there you go. That's the BOCC. Mercy, people. If you aren't scared, you should be. All right. A Democratic U.S. senator said he was furious at the Biden administration. I lost the picture. Over the government's delay in inaction over efforts to get stranded Americans out of Afghanistan. Dick Blumenthal, Tricky Dicky, released a statement expressing his frustration and his anger on Monday. I have been deeply frustrated, even furious, at our government's delay in inaction, said Blumenthal, who sits on the Senate Armed Services Committee. There'll be plenty of time to seek accountability for the inexcusable bureaucratic red tape that stranded so many of the Afghan allies. For now, my singular focus remains on getting these planes in the air and safely to our airbase in Doha, where they've been cleared to land. Biden administration officials are reportedly at a loss for what to do in response to the current hostage situation in Afghanistan, telling reporters they do not control the airspace, as several planes have been prevented by the Taliban from leaving the country. Now, we don't control the airspace. I want you to hear this. Listen to what I'm saying. We do not have reliable means to confirm the basic details of charter flights, including who may be organizing them, the number of U.S. citizens and other priority groups on board, the accuracy of the rest of the manifest, where they plan to land, among so many other issues. It's no surprise with this stuff. You know what? Why do we not have the manpower? Why do we not have the airspace? Because we relinquished it, and we'll never. You can't blame it on that because you caused this, Joe Biden. McCary says, should we worry more about our local election just like our national election? Yes. Yes, you should. What is this? Move along, nothing to see here. I don't know. There's a new ad that's come up from Donald Trump. You got to see this. I'm going to play this for you.
Afghanistan cannot be used as a terrorist base.
That Afghanistan has become a Disneyland for terrorists.
We plan for every contingency.
Total chaos.
It is heartbreaking. It is depressing. It's a failure, and he needs to own that failure.
I bear responsibility for all that's happened.
He did not admit any mistakes. He did not offer any change of course. He says we're going to continue forward.
He really isn't taking responsibility.
Mr. Biden, you did this. You made the deal with the Taliban. This is the consequences of it. Go to hell, Biden!
Tens of thousands of people being left behind.
There's American citizens left. We're going to stay till we get them all out.
We did not get everybody out.
Dozens and dozens of U.S. citizens went to the airport, and the gates never opened.
The mission hasn't failed yet.
If this isn't failure, what does failure look like exactly?
But there's to be.
What's around about ISIS and the threat that Americans face now?
And he walks away. Is that Trump's 2024 ad? I don't know, but it's pretty powerful. Listen, this guy's been in office, 7 months? It's a train wreck. It is a train wreck. I just, you gotta, as you look at this stuff, we got to be concerned about national politics, but we've got to rein in these power brokers in Santa Rosa. How do you do that? Now, I know some of you have problems with James Calkins. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. You got a problem with James Calkins? Fine. Is James Calkins your biggest threat on the BOCC? Is James Calkins your biggest threat on the BOCC? Or is it Bob Cole? Or is it Dave Peach? Or is it Colton Wright? Or Sam Parker? What is your biggest threat? You want to complain about James Calkins? Fine. You have bigger issues at hand. Number one, Bob Cole must go. And if you can, throw him in jail. Right? So Peach, Roger, all of them BOCC. Roger says Peach. He's the biggest threat. What is that? I want to know. Tell me what we're talking about. But you've got to start somewhere. So impeach Peach. Biggest threats are the longest left in office because we can place those up for re-election. But you've got to do it. That's the problem. How long has Bob Cole been there? Calkins is one vote, but all of them need to go. Mr. Peach is already gone. He just doesn't realize it yet. But he's the one wielding the power at the moment. I know, but you go, mercy, people. Who's your biggest threat? Who? Now, listen, like I said, if you have a problem with James, that's fine. That's between you and James. And you want to, and I don't agree with everything he does. I don't. But you've got bigger issues than James. James doesn't put you at the end of the meeting. James does. Who shows up to events? James does. If you got a meeting, James shows up. When's the last time Bob Cole wanted to hear anything you had to say? When's the last time Dave Peach came to listen to your concerns, citizens? When's the last time Colton or Sam showed up to anything other than a ribbon cutting? You get those and you weed them out systematically. You can't just say, oh, well, Bob Cole's on his way out. You make his life a living you-know-what. You make, and Roger is right. James is trying. And again, you may not agree with everything he does. That's fine. You're not going to agree. I always say this. My wife does agree with me 100% of the time, not 50% of the time. You're not going to agree with somebody, a politician, 100% of the time. I didn't agree with Trump 100%. That's okay. I think Bob Cole's going to run again as well, Roger. I think Bob Cole's going to run again. You've got to make his life you know what. Colton goes, well, this is a hostile work environment because you're a jackwagon and you need to go and you need to make all their lives miserable. You make their lives miserable in that spot. Yeah. We have to remove the person holding the power. I don't know. You can't lay money on that. Listen, you cannot lay money on that. When anyone votes to develop contaminated land, you're not trying. I'm gonna let James defend himself. I'm not gonna defend him, right? That's not my job. It goes with his promise, a constitutional thing. I'm just letting him do it. I think there's an acceptance of a leadership position for the Association of Counties. Maybe. But he needs to be, look, he doesn't need a spot somewhere. Dan Schiebler didn't need a spot somewhere. They need, because of their poor leadership, their careers need to be destroyed. You're not going to make any more money off the county. You need to flip burgers. That or wipe tables at McDonald's. That's where you've been diminished to because you are just a piece of garbage. And that's where it needs to be. You don't allow them to go just do right off of the sunset and make more money somewhere else. That's not how it works. You can't settle for that. I got to go. I got to go take some Xanax, I think. Hey, thanks to Adam Sanitation for coming on today. Thanks. Like the video, share the video, and we'll see you back here again tomorrow for a tropical storm day. Rain's coming in buckets. All right. All right, kids. Thank you so much for joining us. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Stay strong.